Every one of my records means something. The label, the producer, the year it was made.
Make sure you have the record player on at night.
Bad luck streaking dance in school, down on my knees in pain. Bad luck streaking dance in school.
I wanted to go over, Jake, you and I listened to an album a couple weeks ago, but Joe wasn't with us, so I thought it'd be good to kind of wrap it up real quick. We listened to Bad Religion.
Oh yeah,
and they put out a new record. It was from 2019, and like I said, Joe wasn't with us, but you're familiar with Bad Religion.
Oh yeah,
right?
For sure.
So yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I edited this quite right. Like it might be, it was just clips of each song, but I think there might be a few I like didn't get, and it might be like a gratuitous amount of the song. But the whole thing is only 8 minutes. So
oh, okay, cool. Let's watch it.
So yeah, let's take a look, and then we can kind of reflect on it. Because I was listening back to it this week, and I was kind of it held up. I still thought it was good. So
cool. All right, so here we go.
Okay. Well, so before we spin this thing, do you have the vinyl there with you? Let's take a look at the cover. It's got an interesting cover here.
I do. So it is. I don't know if it can focus.
Yeah, there you go.
This guy got the head of a famous statue in the front seat of his car, in a passenger seat.
So what David, is that the statue? I don't, without seeing the rest of the body, it's difficult, but I'm pretty sure that's what it is.
Yeah, I'm not sure what it is, but I don't know. It's
from SpongeBob. Remember whatever episode that is where there's that sculpture's involved, remember?
Yeah, but doesn't it have Squidward's head?
Yeah, I don't remember the details, but that's what I'm pretty sure that's what it's from.
Yeah.
For any history buffs out there, it's from SpongeBob SquarePants. That's what's on the cover of the record.
Existential, with patience wearing thin, but the danger's elemental. It's chaos from within, and am I losing my sanity of nothing to lose? So please let me be. I've got a firm grip and strong roots like a tree. Paranoid style, hey, get upside down to the American sound of the paranoid style. Is the enemy hiding in your conscience? Can forgiveness pave the way? There's gotta be a place for them if tomorrow's a better day. With the high priest banging on the war drum, you cannot make out what he's saying. With all the litter on the battlefields, no higher ground remains. Don't lose your head. Don't lose your head. Don't lose your head. Don't lose your head. Before you lose your head, yeah. Sweet children, lights burning wide in mother. Draw the curtains. Free will is your dilemma. What will the destiny tell me? Where do you really want to be at the end of history? Just to think that not so long ago was a man who received the seal. He peddled blatant lies and brought back tyranny to divide his people with zeal. But we can live as one in perfect harmony. It requires common sensibility to teach an intellectual capacity that I believe is in the air, but everywhere is the ultimate act of treason. So few could be aware that their nation's heart is bleeding. But as a child who plays for fun, with his eye up to the barrel of a gun, watching fools believe is one in this unrepentant age ancient tribalism, and trust me, nobody cares. For I am your candidate. I am bloody lips and makeup. I'm your caliphate. Opioids and mutilation. A celebrity, and my name is competition. I've come to bear your pain, and I can make it go away. I'll make it go away. I'll make it go away. Fucking engines of belief in equality and stark belief like Babylon and Dusty. Better say like minarets while sisters man on mine drive the cruise of hypocrisy. Faces of grey, rage is a key, pain is a thief. Faces of grey, rage is a key, pain is a thief. Own regime, smoke of history. Liberty, still wafting in the breeze. The new aristocracy just smells like the old regime. Whoa, big cyber weapon, little traitor in chief. He's got a big black dot on a leash. Downfall, gravity calls. Entropy makes fools of us all. Downfall, you can't forestall. It's a proof there ain't no invisible hand. Seems now it's fucked up beyond no recognition. Just a symptom of the time. You might call it modern cognition without a reason or a rhyme. What's the platitude of honorable mention? Only a dishonor to behold. Was being second only for some of the losers. Just the same as getting old. These are more than technological things. Yeah, they're promises of what tomorrow brings.
Okay, so that Bad Religion album, what is it called? Age of Unreason
Yep, Age of Unreason.
from 2019.
Yeah.
One of the things you mentioned when we listened to it, the one of the guys, or maybe a couple of them, are both real smart characters. They got
Yeah, the lead singer, he's like an anthropologist or something. So he studies like human history and human evolution and how it all basically human history. I think that's what that is.
Must be an easy subject. God created man.
Nope.
What a good joke for this album. I appreciate you, Joe.
You're welcome.
No, but given his smarts, that's one of the things that stood out was his songwriting to me. It seemed evident that he was very smart, just with like the vocabulary that he used.
Yeah, but at the same time, I feel like it didn't seem too preachy. I think when songs are like that, they can come out preachy. I think like the general, but in his case, like the general messaging behind the whole album was like it's things we've heard before. Like, you know, we've seen this before. Don't, you know, like there's lines about finding your own way. Look, like you were saying before, You mentioned to me in a text about how a lot of it's about self-reflection, not putting your faith in yourself and those around you, and not like leaders and saviors. You know what I mean? That's the age of unreason. It's like, let the truth and the facts of your own journey like be your guide and stuff. There's a lot of different things he touches on in this album.
Yeah, but it was appropriate. Like I said before we listened to it, my concern was that it was basically just going to be like
Trump
the album
bad.
was basically like, Trump is bad. I was like, okay, I mean, like, yeah, fine, but I mean, there's a larger issue here, and they touched on it. They're a band that's been around a long time.
Right.
I'm sure they're writing this kind of stuff
Back when Clinton
Trump
was back when Clinton was the president. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So a lot of the songs were like about Trump, but they're, Trump was kind of like playing a character almost.
Yeah, he's the symptom of the disease they're singing about. Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
Right. So yeah, it was good. I mean, like, Joe, just hearing like the highlights of it. I mean, like, what'd you think? It was tamer. There was like the one song, "Faces of Grief," was the one that really like.
Yeah, really quick.
That's kind of what I was more expecting is that, because I'm used to like early '90s like Bad Religion, like Big Bang, right? Isn't that one of their albums? The very colorful album cover. You know what you want to talk about? I want to say it's called Big Bang. But I was listening,
yeah,
right,
yeah.
But when I was listening to the clips, it seemed like there was a good theme like throughout, like he was hitting like certain chords from a certain theme.
Yeah.
Throughout the album, so.
Yeah, it was definitely cohesive in that way.
Cohesive.
The couple songs, "Don't Lose Your Head."
I love that song.
I really liked, and "Candidate."
Yeah,
was really good. I love the harmonies and.
Yeah.
The album I'm thinking of is called No Control, but Big Bang is off of.
It's a song.
It's a song off of No Control.
Okay.
Yeah, but I enjoyed listening to it because punk is kind of I feel like you and Jake have kind of been threatening to go in a more punk direction. I'm less familiar, but
that's funny. I'm looking through the song listings for this No Control album came out in 1989.
Oh wow!
And there's a song on here called Sanity. Isn't there a song on that album called like something about sanity?
Yep, My Sanity, and that's what probably my favorite song on the record.
My Sanity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but on this one from '89, there's a song called Sanity.
That's cool. I wonder if they share any common themes. Yeah. I mean, they were so young back then. I'm sure, like.
Oh yeah.
I would assume right away that their earlier it's like more angsty, but
they've had a long career.
Oh yeah, they have like more than 10 LPs. They have a lot of.
Their first album, 1982.
Wow.
Yeah,
wow, that's wild.
And this most recent one's 2019.
Yeah, they're all like in their 40s and 50s. I'm pretty sure.
Oh no, they had latest release. Oh, they had a single that just came out a couple days ago.
I mean, those were our parents. You know what I mean? That was the punk bands. They're our parents' age. It's crazy to think about.
Oh yeah, Strangers Than Fiction. That's another good one.
Ah, so good.
Yeah. Even Recipe for Hate's a good one. Like that late 80s, early 90s.
They were
Religion is.
Yeah, they're really good. But I mean, when you like albums like Empire Strikes First too, they had a song with Sage Francis. Actually, Pete Mindconnect showed us a Sage Francis song. Remember that song, "One Stone's Throw Away from a Rock Fight"? Do you remember those lyrics from?
Well, just.
I mean, that's a common saying, but like. I'm saying like they featured Sage Francis, and Sage Francis like kind of inserted that hip hop song into one of Bad Religion's punk songs, and like kind of like this cool like interlude of the song. But yeah, even their more recent stuff was cool, and with the popular music and popular musical figures. So they've always done a good job. And among their fans, they're like, I don't think this band has ever made like a record that has disappointed me, like, which is kind of rare, I think, among artists that make that many records over such a long period of time. Like, oh, this is solid.
You
Like,
would think
this didn't blow me away, but it did suck. You know what I mean? To me, that's great. Over,
even a band like Metallica, as great as they are, they had a dip in.
Yeah.
Even the fan base even started to get off that train, and then they're starting to come back a little bit.
Yeah.
But, they had a time period there where people weren't really fucking with them.
Yeah.
But to be consistent from 1982 to 2019,
yeah,
that's insane. That's longevity right there.
And they had been inactive for a good period of time before the release of this album that we listened to. So it was cool for these guys that have been around for so long and writing about this kind of stuff to like enter at this juncture, and everything's kind of crazy, and kind of give their perspective. And it was a good one. And I think we always talk about how like the problem with like politics is like like we said, there's no self-reflection. There's always an enemy. It's always the Republicans' fault or the Democrats' fault, and as a result, like there's never any kind of like self-examination or
age of unreason. There's a bunch of unreasonable people acting off of fear and propaganda, which is you know what I mean, and no taking the time to get to know other people, no taking the time to get to know the facts, you know what I mean, no matter which way you look at it.
Mm-hmm.
And,
that's why I was so bummed in the last 4 years. Zach didn't come back. Zach De La Rocha.
Well, they were gonna go on tour. Right. They were gonna go on tour with.
They were going to,
What was it? Rage Against the Machine and Run the Jewels. Oh my God!
Could you imagine?
Dude, I would have spent so many hundreds of dollars.
They got sold out so quick.
Yeah, it is what it is. Like, I'm not taking a shot at Rage Against the Machine, but it was funny because it was like there was gonna be a big concert tour, so it was like Rage Against the Machine and Run the Jewels presented by Capital One. So it was like Rage Against the Machine presented by the Machine.
It's so funny. People have always gone after that, like, oh, you made all your records Rage Against the Machine, but you released it through Sony. You're a phony with Sony.
But they say that the only way we could get our message out there to a broader audience is to sign with the major record company. That's just the way how music is in this country.
Yep. And it's not like they pulled any punches through that decision. Right. It's not like they censored themselves. Right. They didn't sacrifice anything. They just made a bunch of money. More power to them.
They're always going to have their hardcore fans that are going to find them wherever they go. But they wanted to branch out to a more broader, even radio type audience. Mm-hmm. And the only way you're going to do that is if you connect with a Sony or a Warner Brothers or one of those companies.
Yep.
Those are the facts. And they were still outspoken about those companies and stuff too.
Right. Yeah. It's like Jake said, they didn't compromise at all. No. You know what I mean? It's that would be the concern. So it's almost like, hey, joke's on you, Machine. Like if you're gonna propel these guys to like, give their message.
It's like they're altering the Machine. Like they're
right.
They're like making it to where it works for them.
Yeah.
Not the other way around, where the Machine works for you. They were making the Machine work for them.
Yeah.
Is that the kind of what we listened to, what we just heard? Is that like kind of the punk you're into, Jake, or are there? But you're into like more extreme. I'll say kind of.
I would say that generally that's the punk I'm into. I guess that gives you sort of an idea of what I'm into. I do enjoy me like some circle jerks every once in a while, like. But
I enjoy.
But I gotta be.
Get a bunch of friends. And sit down.
You definitely got it. Yeah, around the table.
Around the table. Yeah.
I prefer standing.
It's so angsty, like that. When you get to that kind of punk, like when it was like in the '80s, like the '80s punk scene, it's just so. It's like the lyrics are just like, nobody cares about your feelings, like just ridiculous, like really humorous, like existing.
No free lunch for a jackass.
Yeah. Just existing solely to piss as many people off as you can. And there's a place for that. and
Sure.
they influenced all the Bad Religions and Green Days and Offsprings. Like that's where that came from, which is very interesting. That's all from California, man. I mean, there's no other. All like that. That's just all Cali. That's a pure Cali thing that
Pretty
branched
much.
out, and then you had branched out to the east.
Washington D.C. had a big punk scene too.
Oh yeah, but definitely
That's
like it all started in Cali.
The whole straight edge scene came from D.C.
Oh yeah, yep. Like we don't do drugs. Like that's literally the thing about not doing drugs.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's funny, but it's like I don't know that much about older punk. I like I said though, so far all I have done is like watch the documentary, and there's it's such a diverse punk is such a diverse similar sound because it's just literally people playing as hard and fast as they can and screaming into a mic a lot of times, but all at the same time a lot of really cool bands like like Bad Brains, like a lot of really like innovative bands like that just someone like they had problems with like Nazi people coming into the punk scene, like Nazi punk bands. And the punk band, they'd get in fights, like they'd be fighting each other and shit, like the straight edges and would be fighting these guys, you know what I mean? It was total chaos. Let's just be honest. It was in the 80s at least, it was total just chaos total youth expression, you know what I mean? No matter what it was. So
yeah, that was weird when they had the big race, like when race got involved, because originally it was for everyone. Black, white, whatever, whatever. It was just like almost like hip hop in a way, like underground hip hop.
Yeah.
And then then like these race, it's like this is not what we're about at all.
Right.
And luckily they kicked those bands out real fast. They didn't.
Like a skinhead show up.
Those
at a punk
bands
show.
don't have the longevity like a Bad Religion.
No, they don't.
They're around 1 or 2 years and then they go away.
That was with that whole angst. Just angst, like whatever you're about, whether it was like against a system or if you have some kind of sick kind of idea, like racist idea, like that's just what it was. That's what people were doing, just letting out their rage, and that's what racism is. It's anger and fear. You know what I mean? It's the kind of things that were being talked about in punk music. But you're absolutely right. No one gives a shit about those bands. Didn't last at all. No one listens to those bands at all anymore. And you'll see like videos. You can go on YouTube, like it's like you look up skinhead. Most of the videos like skinheads getting beat up at punk show. Like some skinheads will show up to a punk show, and they'll just get like thrown out or beat up. It's like, whatever. It is what it is. But it was part of the scene. It happened. Very interesting, diverse music.
Yeah, so what else do you guys have on vinyl? I mean, I feel like you have like Social Distortion or something, or is that?
I love Social Distortion so much.
No, I have.
I can picture the album cover. I just don't know. It's like a guy.
Misfits or something.
No, the band out of DC. The straight edge band out of DC.
Oh yeah. Can you?
Minor Threat.
Yes.
Yeah.
There you go.
Brian, my one of my coworkers, Brian, who kind of introduced me to a lot of older punk, he said I'd like straight edge music, like Minor Threat.
Oh, yeah, Minor Threat's fucking awesome. And Minor Threat was in another band. The lead singer, he's been in a couple different bands. His name is, man. Lately I feel like mentally drained lately. Oh, it's been weird. Like I'm just not as sharp. Even at work, I haven't been as sharp lately, but that's a whole other thing.
So,
like my recall isn't as good.
To quote the great Hank Hill, it's a side effect of the marijuana poisoning.
Could be.
No, but I just that. It was a fun listen, and so I just wanted to touch on it without totally skipping it. And I'd like to get to more punk. I think some of the more like that Faces of Grief song, and that's kind of what I think of, and that's kind of the more humorous Well, whether it's meant to be or not, it's just kind of punk definitely has an element of humor that I enjoy.
I think I have like a Misfits compilation album. Yeah, I would say those are probably the only two like punk
Misfits would be good.
kind
That'd
of
be
things.
awesome.
Definitely have some like punk influence kind of things, but not.
Yeah, I still have been looking for Reverend Horton Heat and like Danzig.
Danzig would be cool. He was from the Misfits.
Yeah,
that guy.
He's the lead singer of the Misfits. Yep. Some of his earlier stuff.
Did you just suggest a Dr. Seuss book for us to read?
Which one?
Horton Hears a Who?
Oh yeah, no, the Reverend Horton. That's funny. I did not understand where that was going. No, the Reverend Horton Heat. That's rockabilly.
Reverend Horton Hears a Who?
Punkabilly, they call it.
Punkabilly.
Rockabilly's cool.
Punkabilly's fucking. There's a song from one of the Tony Hawk games called "I Can't Surf." You should listen to it. It'll give you an idea of what punkabilly is.
Like,
so get you.
Yeah.
It's got like those surf like riffs to it. It's cool.
Yep.
nice. Well, it was a good pick.
Yeah.
Go on, Nick.
No, I was gonna say, listen. I was just gonna plug "Liquor in the Front" by the Reverend Horton Heat. Pick it up. It's such a good album.
Well, that'll have to be. You'll have to pick it up, and that'll be your next.
Yeah. Unfortunately, it's like $700 on Discogs because they don't print it anymore. But
I'm thinking my next one I'm gonna bring Circles. I think by Mac Miller.
Oh, okay, yeah, that'd be great. Yeah,
keep that going.
Finish the.
I was watching a video on it, how it's like how they're connected and all that shit. Cool. Like, it's fucking awesome. So.
Yeah, I'm glad when you sent that picture of the two albums together. I was like, oh, okay, that'd be cool to.
So it's funny
tie that up,
his family, because he's obviously passed away, so his family is still releasing stuff like in his name.
Yeah.
So they're gonna release a box set called "Swimming in Circles," and it's the two. You get the two records.
Ooh, that's cool.
With some bonus stuff or whatever.
That's neat. We got some cool stuff lined up ahead of us.
Yeah.
A lot of interesting